Welcome, brothers and sisters of the Machinists Union and our allies in the labor movement. This is your weekly 141 report, and I'm your host, Dave Lehive, a communications representative for District Lodge 141. Our conversation this week brings 141 viewers to Houston, Texas, as we talk to the District 141 Employee Assistance Program for United Airlines, South Central Regional, Belinda Hawkins. With the holiday season now upon us, we all know it can be very stressful for everyone. Join us as we discuss this and other issues, all of this and more, as our 141 report starts now. Hi, Sister Belinda. Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to come on the 141 report today.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
It's very good to see you, dear. So, Sister, before we get started in the interview, I like to have our guests introduce themselves. So could you tell me who you are, where you started in the airline industry? Tell us about your union work background and the positions you have held in the Machinists Union.
Absolutely. I'm Belinda Hawkins. I'm in the South Central Regional for Houston. And the positions that I've held in the union, I've been a shop steward before. I've helped the executive board out with things. I've never held the position, but I do work closely with the executive board for 2198, also 811. So I've had several things. I've been involved with the union since I'm subcontinental. So since we became union, I've been involved with the union at that point, Dave.
So, Sister, can you tell the viewers about your specific duties as the South Central Regional EAP rep?
My duties at South Central involves a lot of peers. We do have a peer. I have 3 or 4 peers below the wing, 4 above the wing, 1 on the move team, and 1 in every area, which is the outstations that I cover, which is Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Tulsa, New Orleans, ATO support desk, cargo, reservations, and BRC here in Houston. So that's basically all that I cover.
Okay. Well, what kind of training have you gone through personally to be an EAP representative?
Oh my God, we have so much training. Matt McGovern and Brian Hutchinson and that great crew. Because of the pandemic, we wasn't able to go to Whippensinger, so they brought it to us via Zoom. So I've had EAP 1, EAP 2, extensive mediation, labor. We did labor, LAPC class, school for a week. It's so much training. I've had a lot of training.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's really good for our members to hear.
it is.
How important are the 141 volunteer peer coordinators? Could you talk about what they do?
Oh, they are very, very important to me. If I'm traveling and I'm not in the station, the peers are there for people to call. We do have a list of or org chart of all of the peers in every area that I cover. And all of the peers are there, and they know that when they get a phone call, excuse me, Dave, when they get a phone call, they are ready to answer, to listen, and to help any member that call that have any type of problem. So they can handle it, and they've also been trained. They've been in on the Zoom classes as well.
Just real quick question. Have you ever been to the Whippensinger Education Center yet?
Absolutely. I've been twice.
It's a marvelous place for training.
Oh my God. It is definitely a place that you learn so much. It's very educational. and it's structured, and I
Yeah.
do like that.
Yeah,
And
it's
some of
really,
the peers have been too, also.
yeah, it's great. That's great. So let's talk a little bit about your department. EAP is structured, with levels. So who do you report to in the EAP department?
I report to Brian Hutcherson.
Okay, all right.
I do
Now,
work with Brian and Tony Rodriguez. And
yeah, I was gonna say yeah, because Brian basically oversees the entire EAP program at all
Right.
the air carriers, in District 141. What's the title for Tony? Tony is
Tony is a chairperson.
chairperson. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Excuse me. For United Airlines, and he works with all the regionals around the country. Correct?
Right, that is totally
Okay.
correct.
Now, how often do you guys meet? Do you guys meet once a week or once a month? Or
We have a staff meeting ever since COVID. We've been having staff meetings every other week, which is informative, and we all get together on Zoom, 2 hours, and talk about everything that's happening and give each other tips, which
Okay.
is so good for all of us. And it keeps all of us grounded, and we help each other with that.
Okay. So, you come across various types of issues in employee assistance that our members, have. Sometimes you might need to reach out to a district officer to deal with management over a specific issue. Who do you primarily deal with?
Do you mean the AGCs?
Yeah, like district officers.
Oh, of course, I deal with Victor Hernandez quite a bit. A lot of things have been going on the ramp. So I've been dealing with Victor a lot. It's not one time that I can call Victor that I've called Victor that he haven't been there for me, and also Robert Jessup. So
Okay.
I basically deal with Alu. Right
Oh,
now
Lou
that I
Jetimobi.
have, yeah, I
Yeah.
have something going on in all stations, excuse me, which consists of, I deal with Rich, I deal with Alu, I deal with Joe, Andrea,
Andrea Myers,
yeah,
Rich Robinson. Is that what?
Rich
Yeah,
Robertson, yeah.
yeah.
And anytime I place a call to any of these guys, they are there for me, and I appreciate that totally.
Okay. Well, sister, primarily what I talked about in the intro was, we're in the holiday season now. And we know that a lot of our members deal with a lot of stress around the holidays and stuff. What do you want to kind of talk about as when it pertains to that type of issue that members might be having during the holidays?
Some of the issues that we've been coming across, some of the
Yeah.
phone calls, depression, because they've lost a loved one, or just depression due to the last 2 years that we've been dealing with COVID. That has brought a lot of anxiety to all of us and a lot of fear. So lately, a lot of the phone calls, and I've been speaking with the peers as well in every station, be about depression, a lot of grief, how they're going to miss their loved one during the holidays. I just received a call maybe a couple of hours ago, an anniversary of someone's mother, actually on tomorrow, and that person was having a very, very difficult time, and with anxiety and just knowing that her mother is not going to be around. So it's various things that a lot of people deal with, more so this year, because we're a little bit normal, but we're not totally. But this year brings about, people are getting back a little bit with their families, not being stressed out. But of course, it might be someone missing from that dinner table. It's someone missing from my dinner table. So I totally understand, and try to give them encouragement and counseling and several things. And actually, our management team in Houston, which I do work with a good management team in Houston that support EAP totally. I'm very grateful for that, because a lot of times when I ask them something pertaining to my coworkers, and not to go into detail because confidentiality is really important, they normally take my word and they normally do it. So I'm very, very grateful for that.
That's great. That's really great. One of the things I don't think we really touched on when you talked about depression, some of our members may, find that alcohol might be a way for them to get through, and that really could lead them into even more trouble. So we have ways of helping them out if they're having substance abuse, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I have many people in treatment right now, Dave, that during COVID, when people were staying at home, they was isolated and alcohol did become a thing that a lot of people did, besides other opioids and drugs and even medication that the doctor prescribed you. So that's been on the rise, and mental health is definitely on the rise, which is extremely sad, but I think it all stems from people being isolated and not being able to be around each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but we
Okay.
do have counselors, and as I tell everyone that place a call to me now, I'm not a counselor, psychiatrist, or psychologist. My expertise is to listen to you and to give you some guidance and to get you to the right place where we can get you help.
Right, right.
So
Right.
listening skill being EAP is extremely important.
Yeah. Helping our members get to the treatment centers that they need. That's what we do, right?
Right, we
Yeah,
do
if they need
that.
that help, we can get them there. So
Absolutely. And
that's
when a
great.
person reach out, Dave, that takes a lot of courage. And I know that, all of the peers know that. And so it's important to us to get right on it, to follow up with it, and to stay with them while they walk through this journey of recovery. And that's what we do.
Right.
I'm very passionate about EAP. All of the regionals know it. They are passionate about it. We're so helpful to each other. And I appreciate every regional, every AGC. And I can't leave out all the committees that I work with have helped me support and promote EAP, because they've sent a lot of people my way, above the wing committee, below the wing, and then all of the outstations. So I work with a tremendous team of
Yeah.
people all over because we do it together.
Yeah. United has a really, really good network of peer coordinators, regional representatives. It's just great. I mean, you guys do a really good job over there. Well, I want to just really want to ask you one more question before we finish up, sister. Do you have any thing that you want to make mention of before we close out this interview?
I absolutely do. Now, we've been encountering, and I'm sure it's in a lot of stations because it's in the stations that I cover, uh, because people are having depression and stressed out and still dealing with the pandemic or the vaccines or what have you. So at work, they're really lashing out at each other. And I always say, take a minute if you can before you lash out at your coworker. You don't know what your coworker is going through. You don't know if your coworker even have lights or money or needs or food at home. Just because they're at work, they might not have these things. Take a moment, step back, and try to listen. And if you see that your coworker is going through some difficult times, reach out to one of us. Reach out and let us know before it get to upper management and to HR, because we do peer dispute resolution to try to solve. I did many of them in the station, and so have some of the peers, to try to help people be able to get along, because once they get to the HR level, they both might be out of service.
Yeah.
So recognize, be mindful, and I stress this all the time at the meetings. Be mindful that because you haven't went through something, it doesn't mean your coworker is not going through something. And it's very hard for us to recognize, but EAP has taught me, and the training has taught me to evaluate myself and not be judgmental and not put people down. It helps you. It really helps you take a look in the mirror at yourself. So I'm very grateful to be a part of this program. Genuinely, I'm very, very grateful because it has helped me a lot, Dave.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, this wraps up this week's 141 report. I want to thank you, sister, for this really informative report and hearing about all the good work being done by you and fellow EAP representatives.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much. It was an honor to be on your report. I do follow your reports all the time. I love them. It's so informative. And it just brings people together to listen to what's going on in stations like we do at our staff meetings.
Yeah.
And if I must say this before we leave, to all of the regionals, the EAP regionals, in the EAP group, we help each other. We help each other stay grounded because sometimes I could be having a bad day or don't know what to do. And I can pick up and call either one of those guys, which I'm so grateful for as well, or Brian, Tony, or Chris, and they're there. We are here for each other and the members. And that's very gratifying to me.
Before we close out, we want to let our viewers know about an upcoming podcast interview with 141 President Directing General Chair Mike Clem. He will be interviewed on My Labor Radio by host Mark Gavart on November 28th. We will be posting a link on our Facebook and Twitter pages for you to listen in. That's all for now. And to all our viewers, thanks for tuning in each week. Have a good weekend. Bye for now.